Good day, everyone. I'm honored to be speaking to my fellow journalists at this conference. I want to start with an experience that I had a few weeks ago. I was covering a story about a local homeless shelter and cleaned up the grammar of a few of the shelter's clients. I wanted the quotes to be clear and I didn't want the homeless to be negatively stereotyped. The event was also televised and some of the same quotes were viewed in their original form. Members of the public and the shelter staff criticized me for not accurately characterizing how the homeless communicate. This is a situation that I bet many of you can relate to because I'm not the first journalist to be criticized for how I quoted my sources. In Alaska, a community of Eskimo Indians was upset with the editorial board of their local newspaper for doctoring their quotes. They were irate because they felt that their language had been whitewashed. On the other hand, Dominican-born Carlos Gomez, then an outfielder for the Houston Astros, was very upset at being quoted verbatim. This quote stood out because the usual practice in sports journalism is to clean up quotes, especially for non-native English-speaking players. Sports writer Linda Robertson summed up this source quoting quandary stating, "There is no set of universal standards. It would help to have some guidance. It's really murky area and should be taken seriously." This is not to say that no guidelines exist, but each news publication seems to come at the issue from a different angle and set its own guidelines. It is time for us as an industry to come together and set an industry-wide standard of practice. A committee consisting of all the various stakeholders in the field should be formed and tasked with establishing these guidelines and determining how they will be applied in our industry. Now, many of you are probably thinking that having an industry-prescribed method for quoting sources removes a valuable tool that we use to craft our work. This argument certainly holds a lot of weight. However, the benefits of having a standard outweigh the relinquished individual autonomy. The first of these benefits is protection. Journalists who follow the set standards will have the backing of the industry when dealing with people who are unhappy with how they were quoted. A set standard will also set expectations for sources as well as readers for how sources' quotes are treated. Currently, publications have different guidelines for how to quote sources. A standard would bring consistency to the industry. And finally, in order for our industry to keep its autonomy on this matter, we must set standards before standards are set for us through legislation or court rulings. There are several ways that you can help and be part of the solution. First, you can advocate for this solution. Second, be willing to serve as needed on committees. And third, commit to following the new standards. It's up to all of us to help our industry escape this quote quandary.